Hello, everybody. Honor to be here with you. And how do you make sense of what just we experienced in the last hours? I think what we value and what we see is highly individual and tied to our history, what we appreciate. And I think I have a team of so many multi-dimensional people with so many multiple skills that exceed me in so many ways, and I'm just grateful to see this as I surrender and see this happening. What I also think is my history. I was born in Soviet Union. It's not known for the most healthy masculine norms. Can you imagine Soviet top leaders dancing? How would that look? Honestly, if you've seen Chernobyl, this is the leadership that I inherited, the leadership model. And I've been growing up very confused in Sweden. That is one of the most feminine masculinities in the world, if you look to Gert Hofstede, who actually looks at these. It's very problematic dimensions and so on. But what I want to say is that there is something, I'm not a scientist, but I do read some science. And there is some healthy guilt, healthy confusion, and healthy anger that we can feel. And I hope that this summit inspired and stretched you to feel those emotions that we many times suppress. How many have seen the Inside Out movie about how we many times suppress sadness, and sadness is pointing to what is really important, the true north for us. I have so many illusions that I sometimes try to chase, but when I get sad, this is when you know it really matters. That's not the dopamine. And when we make sense, and this is the symbol for sense making that I got around what happened here, I think we need to take into consideration the healthy guilt that may come across as gratitude, as me living with that every day with my brothers still in Ukraine and feeling that I want to contribute to a better world. Healthy anger in us wanting to act, to do and change the world that we have. But also confusion. Because if you've seen the movie, and if you haven't, I strongly recommend it. As confusion, it can be highly productive because it helps us make sense in new ways. One of my dear mentors at Stockholm School of Economics, Roy Olofsson, he said, "Do you feel confused? Watch out, development is in progress." So I want to invite you to embrace those emotions, if you can do that purely without getting into blame and shame and all those dirty places that we also all get into. And I want to also ask you to co-create with us. So I'm here to ask you to act together with us. So if we can have the slides, how many have seen that there are some new logos going on there? How many have noticed that the co-founders have become more? So we have, as we started, Inner Development Goals has been hosted by the Oak Island Foundation as a project. And now we're initiating a foundation of our own. Actually, on the 18th of September, we gathered with all these, many of them knowledge organizations, like Stockholm Resilience Center, of course, on the outer, Harvard Human Flourishing Network, and IMD, working with leadership, with deep understanding of what it is to flourish as human beings, but also World Business Council of Sustainable Development that has been working with big organizations over some years, and we think we can do more together. I'd just like to ask the people from these organizations to stand up and that we give them a big hand of applause for co-creating with us. So secondly, as Jamie said, we have to choose our fights. We can't be everything for everybody. And I think in this incredible complexity in the sense making, we need to reduce it to phases sometimes. We're trying to put the inner on the map. The inner is missing from most theories of change when we're trying to do change, both individual and collective inner. And in order to place it on the map, it can be useful to be in beautiful locations like this one. But there is a location that is even more beautiful than the ones we have here for you this week. That took us 1.5 years of hard work to get, and it had to go up to Stockholm County and the politicians to approve. Do you know which location I'm talking about? Next year, you are welcome to join us at Stockholm City Hall. We have the dates, 16th to 18th of October. And I mean, we're not only playing with this Nobel Peace Center is one of the partners. I have them dear and close to my heart. Kirsty, where are you? Somewhere here. But we've been putting so much attention on the outer. And what if, look at this golden room where the banquet is held. It's empty, but it's also full of potential. And I invite you to say, what if we would, in a few months, announce that there will be an award for the inner? An award for each of the 5 dimensions. And what if we would invite you to co-create with us? How do we do it? How do we choose the people, organizations, several organizations, maybe cities who should get this award? How do we fill this room that we have to our... How do we fill or make use of that potential, of that emergence? Lastly, we've been speaking about the global study, and I want you to just understand the magnitude of what we're trying to do. It's not just one question. The question is already translated to 35 plus languages. Fredrik Lindenkrona, where are you? Stand up, wave. There he is. Send some love to Fredrik and his team. We're trying to translate this to more than 70 languages so that researchers in the different countries can process data in their local language with their local biases. And not only through the survey, but we also will use other ways of working. And this is an invitation not only for you to do the survey, but we have gotten a few thousand responses. But if we are to get where we're going, we need courageous leaders like Tina and Suzanne from IKEA who said, you know what? We're going to send it out to all our 300,000 employees. Like the IAPCO, who is an organization for doing the biggest summits in the world, and saying, you know, we're actually doing COP. Maybe we'll just integrate that one question into the COP or into some other of the huge summits. And this is not to say that we have the answer, but to say we need to talk about it. But going back to what Eric spoke about, this is a pointer to the dialogues we need to have, and it's going to be open until January. Help us not only by doing the survey. These days, I ask you if you would be willing to share this survey on the social media or with the 3 wisest people you know or with the 3 most important organizations. Because we need to re-earn the trust of the 400 plus hubs that we actually are a global movement. So, coming up after January, we've started this plane and we're building it as we fly it. And to be honest, we don't know how to land it. We launched the survey and we had the funding to launch it. We have no clue how we're going to fund what's going to happen January and forward. How we're going to bring the researchers together. We have a beautiful castle in Switzerland that wants to host us. Ignacio, you're here from the Initiative of Change. Yep. And we want to bring people from all regions. And looking in this room, there are many people who are not here. Because there are many people who cannot afford to work pro bono in an open source initiative. There are many voices that we didn't hear today. And I just want you to look around in the room and see who is not here. Please do that just for a few moments. With the eyes of who is not here, generation-wise, age-wise. And our hope is to get the people from all over the world involved. And for this, we need partners. So here, going back, I'm really asking you to think, who can we partner up with? If this prize, the inner, should actually have a value, maybe there should be actually something that we either economically or in other ways give to the individuals or organizations that show that we value the inner. Help us think. This is just an idea that has been approved by the board. And of course, there is so much problems with an award. You know, it's the old paradigm and it's modernistic and it's all that. Yes, we know. And at the same time, we're trying to meet the paradigm where it is. So we're saying, come and join us in this journey of co-creation. Last, I want to say 3 things, and I think we can remove the slides again. First of all, Bayo Komalafe once said the times are urgent. We need to slow down. I challenge you to do that. Secondly, both Dan and Joanna Macy that I had the honor to meet, we can't lose joy. So even if this is serious, please, let's not make it boring. And third, I think we reach and are at our best when we speak from our personal, authentic selves. So with the words of Carol and Casey, please be you. Everybody else is taken.